Denying reality. This tactic involves someone outright denying your experience or an event you both know occurred, essentially telling you that what you remember never happened. It can be very disorienting as it directly challenges your memory and can make you question your sanity. Over time, this persistent denial can erode your confidence in your own perceptions and memories, making you more dependent on the gaslighter's version of reality. Trivializing feelings. When someone consistently tells you that your feelings are too much or unreasonable, it undermines your emotional experience. This tactic can make you feel that your emotions are not worthy of being expressed or considered, leading to a suppression of feelings and a sense that you're overly sensitive. It's a form of emotional manipulation that belittles your legitimate reactions to situations that are genuinely upsetting or hurtful. Withholding information. This occurs when someone pretends not to understand what you're talking about or refuses to engage in a conversation on important issues. By withholding information or ignoring your communications, the gaslighter makes you feel less worthy of honest dialogue and conversation. This can lead to feelings of isolation and confusion as you struggle to understand why your communications are not being reciprocated or acknowledged. Countering. A gaslighter will often question your memory of events, even when you might have a clear recollection. They might suggest you're mistaken or misremembering things, which can make you doubt your own memory and reliability. Over time, this continuous countering can diminish your trust in your own narrative and elevate the gaslighter's version of events as the more trusted source. Blocking, diverting. This tactic involves steering the conversation away from your concerns or questions by changing the subject or accusing you of something unrelated. This redirection not only prevents resolution of the current issues, but also makes you feel that your concerns are unwarranted or unimportant. It's a strategy that keeps you off balance and unable to pursue a meaningful discussion on your terms. Blatant lying. When a gaslighter tells an obvious lie, it creates a surreal environment where truth and fiction blur. This tactic can be particularly jarring because it challenges the very basis of your understanding and perception. The intent is to destabilize your sense of reality, forcing you to question what's true, which may lead you to rely more heavily on the gaslighter to define what's real. Using compassionate language as a weapon. Phrases like, "I'm only saying this because I care," are used to mask hurtful or manipulative comments. This mix of kindness and cruelty can be confusing, making it hard for you to discern whether the person is truly caring or manipulative, thereby clouding your judgment about the relationship and their intentions. Projecting. By accusing you of behaviors that they themselves are guilty of, gaslighters deflect attention and blame away from themselves. This not only puts you on the defensive, but also instills doubt about your own behavior and thoughts, making you more introspective and cautious about how you might actually be the problem. The crazy card. Labeling someone as unstable, especially when they react to being manipulated or abused, is a powerful way to discredit their experiences and feelings. It can isolate you further, as others may begin to question your credibility and mental health based on these assertions, reinforcing the gaslighter's narrative in social or professional circles. Repetition. Constantly repeating a false narrative or lie can eventually wear down your resistance and might lead you to accept the falsehood as a truth. This brainwashing technique is effective because our brains tend to recognize repeated information as more truthful, making the false narrative seem more plausible over time. Fake concern. Expressing worry or concern to others about your well-being can subtly undermine your credibility and paint the gaslighter as the caring figure. This manipulation not only isolates you from potential allies, but also builds a narrative where you are viewed as unable to handle your affairs, thus justifying the gaslighter's control over aspects of your life. Reinforcement. The gaslighter may enlist others to support their false claims, adding an air of credibility to their words. When multiple people seem to corroborate the gaslighter's perspective, it can be incredibly isolating and convincing, making you doubt your own experiences even more since it appears that others share the gaslighter's views. Escalating. When challenged. If you confront a gaslighter or question their actions, they might intensify their tactics, possibly with more severe or more frequent manipulations. This escalation can be an attempt to overpower your objections and silence you, often making you feel overwhelmed and powerless to persist in your resistance. Codependency. Promotion, by making you feel that you cannot make decisions without their input, or that you can't manage your daily life without their help. A gaslighter builds a sense of dependency. This reliance makes it harder for you to stand up to them or to consider leaving the relationship, as your self-efficacy and independence are gradually eroded. Isolation. Cutting you off from your support network serves to deepen your reliance on the gaslighter while limiting the perspectives and inputs you receive from others. Without external points of view, it becomes easier for the gaslighter to shape your perceptions and control the narrative, making you more susceptible to their manipulation. Twisting and reframing. Manipulating your words or actions into something negative or entirely different is a tactic to make you doubt your intentions and communications. It can prevent you from speaking up, as you fear being misunderstood or misrepresented, thereby silencing your voice and diminishing your presence in conversations. Discrediting. Telling others that you are untrustworthy or delusional undermines your social standing and credibility. This tactic can have a chilling effect on your relationships and social interactions, as others may begin to doubt your reliability or mental state based on the gaslighter's assertions. Moving the goalposts. No matter how well you meet the expectations or demands set before you, the criteria suddenly change. This shifting of goals ensures that you never feel successful or secure, constantly striving for approval or acceptance that remains just out of reach. False equivalence. Drawing illogical parallels between your actions and something unrelated is a tactic to undermine your arguments or actions. By making your concerns seem equivalent to something they clearly are not, the gaslighter discredits your legitimate grievances and confuses the issue at hand. Love bombing and devaluation. This emotional roller coaster involves intense expressions of care and affection, followed by cold, dismissive behavior. This pattern keeps you on edge, emotionally dependent, and constantly seeking the positive reinforcement that comes during the love bombing phase, making you more emotionally dependent and less likely to leave the relationship. Changing the subject. This tactic involves deliberately switching the conversation away from the gaslighter's actions or your concerns to something entirely different. It's a way to avoid accountability and prevent any resolution of the issues at hand. By consistently redirecting discussions, the gaslighter avoids scrutiny and keeps you from focusing on the original problem, which can leave you feeling unresolved and confused. Gaslighting by omission. This subtle form of gaslighting occurs when important information is left out of a conversation or an explanation, creating a false narrative or incomplete picture of the situation.